Oh, yeah. Wow. All right, I'm back, guys. Here we go. All right, all right, all right. Welcome to another edition of Joe's News and Views, also known as Joe's Conservative News. And tonight we are going to talk about another day with the impeachment trial. Now, I know everybody's been looking at the impeachment trial like the second Super Bowl, and we're trying to figure out if our beloved President Donald J. Trump is he going to make it out of this BS. Now, I know the last time I talked about this, I had said that there was a good chance that he may be convicted. But at this point of the game, I don't know. One thing we do know is there's not enough people in the Senate on board to get a impeachment conviction so far. But again, anything is possible because we have seen these Democrats, aka I call them Demorats, and not to mention too these so-called rhinocrats all trying to join in to destroy the president for his beliefs. So again, this is starting to become an ongoing saga. But we are going to do the best we can to bring you on our end the demon rats, the realest news possible. Because as for you guys, y'all deserve the real news, the real deal. What's really going on? And that is exactly what we are going to do with no holds barred. Because that's what we do and that's what the business we're about. So with not further ado, I'm going to go ahead on and share with you the article that I will be sharing with you guys tonight on what is really going on with this situation. And I will break down in, like I always do, key points of the article or what I think is going on and my opinion, and we'll go forth from there. So today we're going to talk about the House impeachment managers making their case on day 2 of the impeachment trial.
Jungle there, going to strange websites, all the games.
Now, the House impeachment managers made their case Wednesday for convicting former President Trump, bringing up dramatic new security footage that tied Trump's words to the January 6th Capitol riot and the threat it posed to lawmakers and police. Now, the footage they showed, I think I showed it to y'all yesterday, about what President Trump has said was basically cut off when he had said, walk peacefully. They just did the part where he said, fight for your country, fight for your right to vote, and head to the Capitol. They cut out the part where he said, march peacefully. Now, not surprised because this is what we already know that the radical left does. They always want to paint the narrative their way. They don't include any facts. And if the facts included is going to show the truth and make them look like jackasses, they're not going to include it. It's just facts. We see it all the time. Lawmakers took turns defending former Vice President Mike Pence against Trump's previous attacks. And Dale Stacey Plaskett, a Democrat from Virgin Islands took to the spotlight Wednesday and directly accused Trump of orchestrating the Capitol insurgency. As the trial draws to a close for the day, this is what really happened in some of the key moments. First moment, the Dems acknowledged Trump urged for peace, but he only did it once. Let's break this one down. Representative Madeline Dean noted that during Trump's Save American rally speech, he told protesters to go down to the Capitol to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard. She said it was the only time he used the word peaceful in the speech. It doesn't matter. He said peaceful. I mean, the only reason why I think they hurried up and put that there this time and they didn't do it yesterday because of what's going on with Maxine Waters currently. Maxine Waters' speech about if you see him at a gasoline station, you need to go and surround them. In her James Brown voice. Ah! Well, anyway, they seeing that circulating around, and they also seeing people like Cori Bush using the actual situation of the riot of the actual riot situation at the Capitol, where she's trying to capitalize and sell shirts. So right now they know that there's a lot of Democratic people that are trying to capitalize on this thing. So they had to put that in there. They had to put something in there so they could kind of say, well, okay, we see what he said, but he didn't say it enough times. You know how they roll. They trying to do everything they can to soften the blow on their end, which I think is hilarious. Let me go share this right quick. I'm sorry. I didn't share this part of what I'm reading from. Sorry about that, guys. Got a little bit in tune with the key points. Now, in a speech spanning almost 11,000 words, yes, we did check. That was the one time and the only time President Trump used the words peaceful or any suggestion of nonviolence. He used the word fight or fighting 20 times, she said. Hours earlier, White House Chief of Staff Mark Meadows had hit Democrats for conveniently leaving the line out. I know that everybody here soon will be marching over to the Capitol building to peacefully and patriotically make your voices heard, Trump said at the rally. Now, let's talk about the word fighting. Now, this is what made me so mad with them about this fighting word, okay? Fighting is a reference to mentally and responsibly show the people that you are protesting against that you want to be heard. You want them to realize that what they're doing is not good for business. It's not good for the American people. It's not good for you as an American citizen. The same thing that Martin Luther King would say whenever the civil rights movement, when he said, fight for your right. Does that sound like violence to you? Fight for your right. And he's saying be nonviolent, but at the same time, fight for your right. That means to do things in a manner to where people can hear your voice heard without using any violence or confrontation that will put you or the other person in danger. That's what he always done in all of his rallies. I still say to this day that what happened at the Capitol was always fishy. I'm not going to say what I want to say because I'm on YouTube. And, you know, anytime you say anything about conspiracy theories or any kind of opinion that they don't like, they are quick, very quick to shut down your channel or suspend it. So I would have to, that's why I tell y'all to join that Patreon. That $5 a month, if I could get enough followers, I could say what I feel directly about certain situations without being shut down on Twitter. I mean, not Twitter, but on mainstream media. Now we're gonna keep further on the next takeaway. Now, that was takeaway number 2. Now, let's talk about takeaway number 3. Castro plays audio of rioters chanting, "Hang Mike Pence." Republican Joaquin Castro, a Democrat for Texas, played audio of a chant where the crowd repeated "Hang Mike Pence" and showed an image of a noose allegedly put up to execute Pence. Castro noted that Trump said he would be disappointed in Pence if he did not stand up for the good of our Constitution and oppose the certification of the 2020 presidential election results. Later, Trump tweeted that Pence didn't have the courage to do what he should have been done. The rhetoric was quickly picked up by crowds gathered at the Capitol on January 6th and ultimately escalated to threats on Pence's life. Let's talk about what happened with Mr. Pence, with Vice President Pence. I don't support anybody having anything violent against them. I'm going to say it again. I do not support anybody on the political arena, no matter how much we despise them or they disappoint us, to have anything violent towards them. Now, with that being said, I'm going to break down why I feel like the crowd said what they said. The crowd said what they said because they was extremely disappointed. Let me tell you why they was extremely disappointed. They was extremely disappointed because they felt like that Mike Pence had the power to stop the certification of the results. But in reality, Mike Pence didn't. Mike Pence's hands was tied. It was inevitable. They were going to do it. Biden taking care of whether anybody liked it or not. Pence could have objected and would have turned around and debated all day long. There still would have been some issues there. And everybody knows this. That is exactly why I had to get over it myself when I was disappointed in Vice President Pence. Another thing people got to understand is that Vice President Pence is a part of the deep state of the establishment of the Republican Party. It is so much he's going to do to go against the grain because he want to keep those connections. So if he decide to jump back in the political arena for another term or something else of that nature, he has that connection. So I'm not really disappointed in Pence. We got to understand something about Vice President Pence. No matter how much you can't despise him on what you feel that he didn't do enough on those votes, at the end of the day, Vice President Pence played his role strategically perfect when it came to President Donald J. Trump. He didn't try to overtake President Trump's shine. He didn't try to be more than what President Trump was. He played his position. He knew he was the vice president. He knew he had to keep his dedication towards the president. I just felt like in the end, things got thwarted because there was probably a lot of miscommunication and information going between President Donald J. Trump and a lot of other people in Vice President Mike Pence's ear that I think fucked up their communication in the end. I really do. I feel like that's what happened. Because when you got different people in your ear and you're trying to do like President Trump is, trying to prepare to fight for your country and your name and your honor and the honor of people that have entrusted in you, it gets very complicated. Let's try to get more people in the room on the TikTok side. I know we can get more people than that. Now, come on, y'all. It's a fire topic. We're talking about the impeachment trial. All these pages that follow me, I know y'all up and got an alarm now onto your phone. Let's try to share this thing. Let's get more people in. Lou praises Pence for standing strong. Representative Ted Lieu of the Democrat of California detailed how Trump turned on former President Mike Pence in the lead of the election certification in Congress. Vice President Pence stood strong and certified the election. Vice President Pence showed us what it means to be an American what it means to show courage, Lou said. He quoted Trump's Save America rally speech when Trump said he won't like him as much of won't like him as much of Pence if he certified the election results after Congress vote. Lou also quoted a New York Times report said that Trump told Pence, "You can either go down in history as a patriot or you can go down in history as a pussy." Now, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. We got more people joining in. Let's try to get more in there. Now, listen, guys. With that statement, I feel like that was something that was, again, a lot of frustration. You got to remember, from President Trump's point of view, a lot of misinformation was being brought to both of these guys about what they could and could not do when it came to certifying the votes. I feel like that President Trump wanted President Pence, to at least deny the certification at least once. But even if President Vice President Pence would have, we would have to have a debate, talk to these folks, and it still would have came out the same way. We still would have had Biden coming into office. So Trump, after understanding, which I think he probably understands by now, Pence was over a barrel. He had no say so of this. It was a wrap. It was over. The Democratic Party had achieved what they wanted to achieve, and that is to push President Donald J. Trump over a barrel where he had no chance of coming back. And that's what they did with these votes. That's exactly what they did. And like I said, I was mad with Prince too, but then I had to understand from a Pence point of view, and when I understand what he was doing, hey, it is one of those things. It is what it is. Now, next key moment. Plaskett said pro-Trump protesters didn't have a permit until Trump stepped it in. Uh, Delegate Stacey Plaskett, again from the Virgin Islands, claimed today that the Save America rally did not have a permit to march to the Capitol on January 6th until President Trump stepped in. But while a march was not allowed, the permit for the January 6th rally also mentioned that some participants could head to the Capitol. According to the rally permit provided by the National Park Service to one of our news outlets of conservative news, Fox News, Women for America First. I'm going to put it again. Women for America First will not conduct an organized march from the ellipse at the conclusion of the rally. Some participants may leave to attend rallies at the United States Capitol to hear the results of congressional certification of the Electoral College count. There does not appear to be any subsequent permit granted for a march at the request of Donald J. Trump. So let's talk about the permit. When it comes to the permit, and thank you for joining in, Miss Brandy Catherine 3. Thank you very much. When it comes to the permit, usually when the organizer who's on the ground organizing these rallies, they the one that have to ensure the permit. That's just straight facts. I wouldn't expect the president to be involved in that. And even if he was, it would be one of his way smaller people that would handle that anyway. But I'm quite sure it was the people who was coming there for support that had to handle that. So that's number one. Okay. Number two, we're gonna talk about the Women for American First that didn't conduct a rally. I'm quite sure that they just wanted to leave everything for the main crowd to go and hear about the Electoral College. Now we're going to talk about the impeachment managers bringing up dramatic new security footage. Now they had played this security footage, which was yesterday. I can't play it on my YouTube because if I play it on my YouTube, they'll put me and ban me where I can't go on lives for 90 days. I ain't trying to get no strike for 60 days. So I'm just going to tell you what it said. The House impeachment managers unloaded a new trove of footage showing lawmakers making their narrow escape from rioters. We're here to count the fucking votes, a rioter could be heard shouting in one clip. Where are they counting the fucking votes? Another one said. The clips also showed then Vice President Mike Pence being rushed from the building and Capitol Police Officer Eugene Goodman turning Senator Mitt Romney, aka Rhino Crack from Utah, around just before he ran into a group of rioters. Now, again, I'm never gonna knock the experience because see, like I said before, give me 1 second, guys. Let me shut my door. Sorry about that. Had to shut my door. You know how that is with kids. Like I said before, and this has been a lot of problem with a lot of the bloggers online, the conservative bloggers. Everybody's been trying to deny or question what happened to the uh, lawmakers that day and the anxiety they felt at the Capitol building. Now, I'm never going to do that. I'm not that type of blogger. I'm going to be as real as I can because being a guy who's been in war, who's been in Iraq, who's been on the front line, anxiety when your life is, when you're around the unknown and the unexpected, your anxiety level will go through the roof. And I'm not going to deny that to them because they're entitled to their own emotions because we wasn't there in their position. Granted, I understand they have said some really shitty things and done some shitty things, but nobody deserves to have their anxiety level go through the roof because of people acting out of emotion instead of people just protesting and shouting their protests outside like they normally do. Now that's number one. Okay. Number two, the only issue I have with what was said on the statement was the whole thing about how the rioters came in there saying they wanted to count the effing votes. Now, we also seen in that footage that a lot of those rioters were being hyped up by John Sullivan. If you don't know John Sullivan, I did an interview with this guy. I was going to do an interview with him again, but I don't know if he can be able to because I know his current restrictions on his bond is not to use any kind of social media or electronic device. So I don't want to be the cause of getting the story out of him and he goes right back in the way he was. I'm not vindictive like that because I don't want no karma coming back on me. But I'm going to try and see if I can find a way to get him on the show. So again, so we can, he can tell not only his side of the story, so I can also ask him questions. Why the hell were he encouraging these people to do all these awful things when they weren't even talking about things like that when they first got in? They were just wanting to find out where the votes were at. So that's another topic for another day. But we're going to proceed on with the next key moment that they said. Plaskett says that Trump stand back and stand by remarks directly in flight incited far right extremists. Oh Lord, here we go. The Virgin Islands delegate accused Trump of orchestrating and inviting insurgents to the Capitol, pointing to his stand back and stand by comments to the far right group Proud Boys in a September 29th debate. Plaskett posted photos of Proud Boy members at the rally on January 6th wearing merchandise with Trump's words embezzled on the front. In an appeal, Republican colleagues, Plaskett aired a clip of the far-right activist Nick Fuentes leading a crowd of protesters before the riot in a chant of "Destroy the GOP." Listen, all this extra stuff that they're trying to point out is not even related. September 29th was a debate. If it was that serious, you're going to use September 29th about an incident that happened on January the 6th. Okay. Stand down to stand by. All he said that's Trump's way of saying, we already talked about this, telling the Proud Boys, listen, don't do anything that you ain't supposed to do. And right now, just back off. Support from afar. It's basically what he said. We all as conservatives have broke this down and said that to him. This is a military term that's been used for years on that. Okay, second thing. Even if they showed up on January the 6th, they showed up on their own accord. Trump did not put a gun to these people's head and said, let's go and riot. He never said that. They know he didn't say that. Another thing, I am so sick of people saying the Proud Boys are a extremist right / white supremacist group. I want to ask everyone again, when have you seen a white supremacist group with a black Cuban leading the group and a bunch of black men and white men together in the same room wearing uniforms talking about patriotism? Please let me know. I want to see if you can show me a skinhead group that's got a black skinhead with them with Nazi insignias. I'm being real today. I don't give a shit. Or any other racial insignias on their body that are black. Now, I'm just saying, with a white skinhead group, because y'all said that they're supposed to be racist with Nazis and Ku Klux Klan and all these others. Please show me a picture. I'll give you my email address right here, right now. joshua.joel.davis@gmail.com. I even have it on the description on my YouTube channel. Please email me this. I want to see it. I really do. I want to see a group. Don't give me just one. I want to see a group. I want to see that black man with the skinheads, with the Nazi insignias on him and all. And they are all joined together spreading hatred. Please. I want to see it. And in fact, I'm even going to get even more out there with it. I also want to see that also with a Jewish person as well, because there is Jewish people that are part of the Proud Boys. So if, again, y'all said this is a white supremacist group, I want to see that too. The Jewish, the black, and the Spanish, the Mexican descent, all of them with Nazi insignias with skinheads rolling together spreading hatred. I really need to see this. I really do. I still don't hear. I hear crickets. I've been hearing crickets from the left about that when I put that out there for the longest. Every time someone comes in my comment section, oh man, you're being a bootlicker. You're being this and that. You're being a Nazi, a black Nazi. Okay, show me a picture of a black Nazi, a Mexican Nazi, a Jewish Nazi with these skinheads all together in the same pick talking about how they want to destroy the minority races. I'll wait. I ain't seen one yet. I haven't. But what I do see is a political party that is trying to paint a picture that ain't worth a damn. That's what I do see. I see a political party that is going out here spreading misinformation that is causing the division in the country. Because again, we're supposed to be together, right? That's what they said, the progressives. It's a time to heal. It's a time to be together. Okay, then why are we spending millions of taxpayers' dollars impeaching someone over a riot that they had nothing to do with? Again, a riot they had nothing to do with. They did not put no kind of weapon on these people's head and said, go out there and destroy. He did not make any promises to these people. When you destroy the Capitol building, I'm going to make sure that all of you get acquitted. I didn't hear none of that. These are people that were grown and knew what the hell they were doing. So they are accountable for their actions. You're trying to, once again, create a victimhood situation now towards the same people that you claim are radical rights, or as they call extremists, against a president that you scared of. You don't despise him. You're scared of him. And you're scared of him because he tells the truth. You can't buy him. You can't pimp him. You can't do nothing with him. You blocked him out of all social media spaces, and he's still getting his word across. So what does that tell you? That tells you that you cannot tear something that God has enabled to do what he needs to do. I'm going to say it again. You cannot tear anything down that God has enabled for man to hear from. You can't. If you don't believe me, look at what they did to Moses. They tried to kill Moses as a baby. They tried to scare Moses to stay and not fight for his people. And Moses still got his point across. And he even crossed the Red Sea. So you tell me, can't stop what God has already put it forth. I ain't trying to get too religious tonight, but I had to put that out there. Can't stop it. Cannot stop it. If you notice or not, everything that the left is doing that is not of God has failed them. And if you notice, this same man they're trying to destroy is still standing tall. He is still putting out the word of patriotism, of togetherness. And that's why they don't know what to do. That's why they're going crazy, because they can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. It's what my grandmother used to tell us all the time when we used to act the fool. Boy, you can't handle the truth. Sit your ass down some way and learn how to handle it. So she used to tell me. She used to tell me that all the time. I used to get mad when my great grandma used to tell me that mess. But now I know why she told me that. Because I needed to hear it. I needed to hear. So I know y'all probably want to know, what do I think as a synopsis of what I've heard tonight about the impeachment. I tell you what I think. I feel like that currently right now, and I'm going to get off the sharing part because I know I want y'all to get the full attention of my thoughts here. This is what I sum it up as: a waste of time. Again, we're wasting not only our time, we're wasting our taxpayers' dollars. We are focusing on a witch hunt on a man who is no longer in office, who is living in Florida, who is golfing. You done blocked him off the internet. You done blocked him off everything you possibly can block him off of. Leave him the fuck alone. He ain't bothering you. You got what you wanted. You got fucking Creepy Joe. You got the fake black woman in the White House. What else do you need? You got those things. You should be happy now. No, you're not. You're not happy because you still want to create chaos. Because that's how these Democrats roll. They're like a pest. That's what they are. They're like a parasite. You know how a parasite get on the what they call in the body of your body, a parasite like the host. They just stick onto that body and they keep sucking and sucking that blood like a leech. And then when they get all fat and they can't move no more, they go and they try to move and wiggle a little bit to another spot in the body with fresh blood. And they keep doing it and doing it and doing it until they have sucked all the life out of you. And then they move on and try to find them another body to suck the life out of. That is exactly what's going on right here with these damn Democrats. That's why they're going crazy. They want to suck the life out of our patriotism, of our democracy, of our regular tradition. Because in their minds, this is the right thing to do. It's the woke thing to do. So enough about the impeachment trial. I'm going to tell y'all what's going on with the little bit of tidbit of news I did today. When you can, go to Joel Davis Media, Media Network, Joel Davis Media Network. I did 2 pieces today before this piece here about what is actually going on with the Chris, I think this guy name was the football player, Chad Wheeler, not Chris, Chad Wheeler, my bad. I don't know why I said Chris. I talked about Mila Taylor, his ex-girlfriend, talking out about what he done, breaking down why he's on bail, because Black Twitter, unfortunately, has forgotten the process of what it is to do due process through the court system. I also discussed about Mark Cuban. If you haven't heard, this is going to be quick. I'm going to put it on this end one as well. Mark Cuban got his pee-pee spanked for trying to be extra woke. If you haven't heard, Mark Cuban wasn't playing the anthem and at these basketball games for the Mavericks. And he told everybody that he wasn't going to play for the rest of the year. And they had a problem with it to come talk to him. Because he's the boss. He's the owner, right, of the Mavs. Well, the NBA did came and talk to him. And they made it very clear to Mr. Mark Cuban. If he wanted to participate owning a team, he will do and comply by the rules of the NBA. Put the damn anthem on. You know, it's sad that we are in a world now where you got to threaten somebody like a child to do the right thing. Because people want to get away from traditions. And his excuse was a reason why I didn't do it because I did a poll of the community and they said that they wasn't comfortable with the traditions of the anthem. Well, I got something for those people that told you that. If they're not comfortable with the with our anthem, they need to get the fuck out of our country. I'm gonna say it again. If you're not comfortable with this flag behind me and the anthem that your forefathers, I don't give a shit who they are that stood up for them, you gotta go. That's where we at. And that's just straight facts. But check out the 2 pieces. I'm about to wrap up out of here. I'm about to go and jump into the crime segment. If y'all can, go and join me at the crime segment on the news, which will be on Joe's Crime Stories. Love you guys very much. Thank you for tuning in. Keep safe and God bless.